Hey, it's show and tell. You know, when I was an undergraduate, which was a couple of years ago, we didn't have calculators. So when we had to make some calculations, we would use this, which of course is the slide rule. Now, some of you ancient people out there will recognize this. It used to be the classic tool for use by engineers, and we used it in chemistry as well. I remember that very well. What is really interesting, though, is that when I show this to some of my students today, none of them can recognize what this is. And it's not a medieval instrument. We were still using this in the 1980s. But I have something even more interesting to show you. When I first started teaching, and we had to, at the end of the term, we had to add up the grades, or when you were marking a paper and you had all the different questions graded and you had to add up the grades to get a final sum. This is what we would use. And this is really a historic item. I used this when I was first teaching to calculate grades. It is a calculator. And once again, we're not talking about prehistory here. We're talking about using this in the 1980s. How did it work? Well, for example, if I wanted to add, let's say, 11 and 33, you can see the 11 here, the 33, and now you see 44 in the window. When you had to clear it, you just do that and you're back to zeros. And again, I show this to students and they're absolutely stunned. You know, they don't know what on earth this is, because we obviously have come a long way since the 1980s in technology. Today, we would never dream of using a slide rule or using a calculator like this, because we just have our cell phone. And not only does it make phone calls, it also acts as a calculator, it acts as our agenda. And of course, I can't show you doing a calculation with a cell phone right now because I'm using the cell phone to make this video. It does that as well. You can even talk on it and use it as a phone. Anyway, we've certainly come a long way since the 1980s, and sometimes it's fun to reflect on these things which look like ancient technology, but this is what I was using when I first started to teach. And that for today is our show and tell